Hello and welcome to another episode of Weeb Cafe. I'm Claire, that's Kris. We are back after a small hiatus. Again, after our last small hiatus, but the last time wasn't intentional. It was just a computer fuck up. So we're not calling that on us. That's the electronics being homophobic.
Homophobic?
During Pride Month, your computer fucked up, which makes it homophobic.
It did, when we were trying to do a review about a gay movie. Which, in hindsight, I think it's good. I fucked up my own file because neither of us enjoyed it and we just bitched about it the whole time.
It wasn't very good. The mood was not very happy and good because it was low-key, high-key triggering and just incorrect.
Which made me really sad. I think if I had known a trigger warning before I watched it, I would have been okay. For those who are wondering, we watched The Given movie. Not a fan. Binks agrees. I don't know if you heard him meow just now.
Yep. Binks said absolutely not. Today! What are we talking about today, Kris? Now that the Pandorama is over. Kind of.
The panini is finally coming to a somewhat end. I mean, now there's the Delta variant, so we'll see how that goes. With the end of the pandemic coming, and most people hopefully being vaccinated and not lying about it, cons are coming back. Yay!
Yay!
So cons are coming back. Super exciting. God, I miss getting fucking drunk with my friends in cosplay. Not gonna lie. So many cringe photos of myself drunk, and honestly, they're my favorites. But because of the panini that we have been in, a lot of people have picked up new hobbies. And something I know Claire, and a lot of my other cosplay friends have noticed, is a lot of baby weebs have picked up cosplay during the pandemic. So we thought we'd give you a nice Cons 101. We're going to run through etiquette, advice, and a bunch of other safety stuff as well to help you round out and prepare for your first convention. Also to remind us of what to do during conventions because we haven't been to a convention in like a year and a half.
What was your last convention, Kris?
Katsu 2020. Literally right before the pandemic. I'm surprised I didn't catch COVID. I made out with several people.
So many people. Because that was back in your hoe phase before you were tied down.
Who said I'm not in a hoe phase? Jaleesa's okay with it.
Jaleesa's chill with your hoe phase? Mine was My Hero Con.
I mean, that's not too far off. That was in January. That was literally 2 weeks before Katsu.
Right. And I remember you guys were like, Claire, Ash, come to Katsu. And Ash and I were like, money, don't have it.
It's an expensive ass con. All right, Claire, you want to start us off?
All right, so we're going to start off with con etiquette, as it is probably the most extensive topic that we have today. So we're going to start off with something that everyone does at a con, which is take pictures with cosplayers, because that's the coolest part. You see someone in your favorite character. They have a really cool costume. There's some obscure character that you didn't think was going to be there, but someone else has your weird nerdy weeb brain and you want to be like, yes, I need a picture with that person. We love the energy. We love it. But there's some things that you have to do. Basic kindergartner rules apply.
Okay, hold on. Before you jump into the rules, because Monkey Brain said tangent, if you want to cosplay an obscure character and you're scared nobody's going to know who you are, do it anyways because when one person recognizes you, it will make their day. My favorite Studio Ghibli movie is The Cat Returns. Nobody fucking knows what it is and it's so fucking sad because it's so amazing. But at A-Kon 2019, there was a guy dressed up as Baron and a girl with him dressed up as Haru, and it made my fucking day. It made my entire convention. Anyways, continue.
Con etiquette when taking a picture with cosplayers. Make sure you ask for a picture. I know that might seem like a pretty simple rule, but as Kris and I can both tell you, that there are many, many people who will just walk by with their phones up, like by their chins, just like weirdly taking pictures. Yes, we can see you. You're not being subtle. Don't walk by and just take one. It's weird and it's rude and it just won't look as good. And I promise we're so nice. If you ask us for a picture, we will say yes. Just ask us.
I mean, we might make a face at you if we notice you taking a picture without asking. But there are other people, like my friend Casey did what, who yells at people, who takes photos without asking. And let me tell you, this bitch is like 5'10", 5'11". She's scary and she's loud. Like, I'd be scared if she yelled at me.
I would also be scared if Casey yelled at me. I've never seen Casey mad, and I fear the day where I have to. I just hope it's not directed at me. All right, next, be courteous. Again, kindergartner rules. Don't put your hands anywhere inappropriate. Don't grab people and position them into a photo you want. You can ask and say, hey, can we do this pose? There is a time Ashley and I, or it is Ashes on Instagram and TikTok. We're in LA for LA Comic-Con a couple years ago. And we were both in Disney princesses. She was in Belle, I was in Cinderella. This guy came up, super like kind of older, like very nerdy, very kind of pretty girls and corsets and oh my god, my heart type of guy. So we were already being kind of wary. But he came up, was very respectful, and said, "Can you step on me for this photo?" And we were like, "Sure." If you ask, and he did not touch us, he just laid on the floor, he got his buddy to take a picture, and we stepped on him for a photo. If you ask, a majority of the time, if it is not too weird or too uncomfortable for the person, then we'll do it. I swear to God, I promise. Just ask. I know it can be daunting and social anxiety is a really big thing, but it is worth it to ask and to get the picture correctly than to just try to touch people and grab them and try to move them into different positions as to what you want.
At A-Kon, on Thursday of A-Kon 2019, Love and I were dressed up as my hero. I was a villain Deku, and they were hero suit Bakugo, but beat to shit, and I was leading them around on a collar and leash, as siblings do, right? Now I understand why people think we're dating sometimes, and we're not. We're just very close. Some guy asked for a picture with us, so we took a picture with him, and then he asked if we could step on him, so we were stepping on his leg, and then he asked if he could put on the collar, and we did. It's weird, but, we said yes. So, it's really not that hard. Obviously, if it's something, super out there.
Kissing or don't touch anyone's butt. I don't know what you guys are thinking of doing. I don't know. People are weird. I've had someone, it actually was the same day of the princesses. Some guy literally maneuvered me with my arms, grabbed top hold, underneath my armpit and yanked me into a position. And I was like, okay, dude, you were getting a very forced smile. And then no, because he asked for 3 more different poses. And I was like, absolutely not. If you manhandle me, you're not getting a photo.
He's lucky you even let him take the one.
Yeah. It was because I wasn't brave enough to be let go of me in front of all these people. But I was just nah. Also, another reason why you shouldn't just grab someone, people's costumes are fragile. And a majority of the time that I am at a con, I have body paint on me. So just don't touch me in general unless you want pink or yellow all over your hand.
But also, a lot of people aren't comfortable with being touched. I know this is different for people who I guess aren't really on the cosplay side of Instagram, but a while ago there was a storyboard game that came out, and it was a little silhouette of a person, and you could fill in where you wanted to be touched, asked before you touch there, or don't touch at all. And I know I filled one out, and I always repost it before I go to a convention. But that's also another way to signify people, especially if you're going and looking for a specific cosplayer because you know they're going there. Just see if they posted something like that so you're aware, and always ask before you touch somebody. I have also been known to, when I take pictures with random people, if I forget to ask if I can put my arm around them, I just kind of let my arm hover around the back and don't actually touch them.
So yeah, and that's a good rule for cosplayers too. If you see another cosplayer Or even if you see like a kid that like wants to take a picture that comes up and you want to like get on their level, you could say, hey, is it okay if I put my hand on your back? Like, hey, is it okay if I put my arm around your shoulder? Like teaching, like having people treat you the way that, wait, words. Treat others the way you want to be treated is what I'm trying to say. You just show that and people will reciprocate. And it teaches people, hey, touching people like without their consent, it's not cool. It's not trendy.
Another thing coming up, since you mentioned like, you know, people's costumes are fragile, especially if they have like armor that they've made and like if you're wearing body paint, is if you're going to a convention, also think about what costume you're gonna wear. Like, if you want to wear a costume with either a big extravagant prop or like big extravagant wings to take pictures in, that's fine. And like, I'm sure you look amazing and I will probably take a picture of you. But don't walk into the dealer's hall or the artist alley or go to panels while wearing all of that. Because it's going to be more of a hindrance to you and as well to everybody else. Because those aisles for artist alleys and vendors hall are very small. And you're going to knock shit over. And you're going to hit people. I'm so bad about that even with long wigs. Like, I hit people a lot with my wigs because I whip my head so fast. But just be considerate of your other con goers with what costume you're wearing if you're going to be interactive in condensed, crowded areas of the convention.
Yeah, some people just think that they have like free reign to do whatever they want because like Deku is their favorite character and so they can go and just like wrap their arms around them for like no reason. Like hugging also is just like, just because someone is dressed up as your favorite character does not mean that they are that character. And we're going to talk more about that later on. But it's a person beneath the costume and the makeup and the wig. And that person does not follow the same rules as whatever character they're cosplaying. So you have to respect the cosplayer, not the cosplay.
Yes. I'm picking up what you're putting down. But I think you should say respect the cosplay and the cosplayer. There you go.
That's better.
There you go. I fixed it for you. Look, we share the same brain cell. We pass it back and forth.
There we go. It's what we have to do or else we never get anything done.
We're two halves of a whole idiot.
Hell yeah. Next on the list, respect cosplayers' time. If they're eating or sitting down or obviously taking a break, try to wait for a picture in like 15 minutes, 30 minutes. We don't stay stationary for that long because there's shit to do. So just like if you see someone just shoving nachos in their face, maybe don't go up and ask for a picture. I personally do not mind because every single time that I've ever been to a con, I have sat down, and when I sat down, suddenly there's like 5 people who want to take a picture. I personally don't mind, but also in none of those situations have I ever been dehydrated or starving. So I guess it would vary on person to person and situation to situation. But in general, just be like, if I was in their situation, would I want to stand up again? Would I want to be disturbed?
I'm typically the same way. I'm too much of a whore for attention. So I typically say yes because I want people to feed my ego because they like my cosplay. But if you see them sitting down, because like some people are okay with that. There are other people like M and Lauren, when like we're sitting down chilling and somebody comes up, they're like, go away. Like, no. So I think also just read the person's body language. And if they seem like they're fine, like maybe you can ask. Or, you know, if you want to wait till they start getting up again to ask. Or like, if you can see their face and you can tell they're not having a good time, that would not be the perfect time to walk up to them and ask for a photo. Like, when I was on the verge of fainting from a heat stroke at A-Kon 2019 in Fantasy Deku, if somebody had come up to me in the artist alley where I was and asked for a photo while I was trying not to throw up, I would have said no, and I probably wouldn't have said it very nicely considering I didn't feel well and I was dehydrated and overheated. So read the room before you approach. But to be on the safe side, I would just wait till they're up and moving around.
Just the safe bet. So there you go. Also, after you're done taking a picture, once that is all done, don't hang around them. Just go part ways. Like, don't keep talking to them, like, too much. Like, it's fine if no one else is in line and there's not a lot of stuff happening. Then, yeah, maybe you can hold, like, a little bit of a conversation. But people have stuff to do. Like, the cosplayer has panel rooms to go to, things that they want to see. And they also have pictures that they want to take with other people. So they are not obligated to entertain you for the majority of time. Also, don't follow them around as if you were part of their group. That's weird. That happened at My Hero Con with my group, and we had a group of like 12-year-old people just follow us around, and we had to lose them. And it was weird as hell. And just like, don't, we're not friends. Like, I go to cons with my friends, and so it's kind of awkward when we have just like, if there's this other person just trying to tag along. It's like, I'm not here with you, and that might seem kind of rude.
I don't think it's rude. Like, it's your personal space. They're a stranger. Like, don't be a leech. Nobody likes a fucking leech.
Don't be a leech. I met a lot of friends from cons. I like took one picture with them and I was like, bye, got their Instagram handle, and now we're friends. So like, don't hang around them. Just message them later on Instagram or whatever handle they give you and just be like, hey, it was super cool, like, running into you or seeing you. I like the picture we took. Make sure you are an adult, though, if you're want to be friends with another cosplayer who is an adult. Please make sure. I still don't know the age range of the people who listen to our podcast, but if you are a minor, don't reach out and try to be personal friends with an adult cosplayer. It's safe for you mostly, like, to protect you, but it's also to protect the cosplayer. I promise you, no matter how isolated you might feel, I promise you there are weebs out there who will cosplay with you that are of your age. I pinky promise you.
And then going back to photos, because I didn't even think about this, but if you take pictures with people and you decide to post them, I would ask for the cosplayer's Instagram handle so that you can appropriately tag them. Or if you post a picture, a lot of cons have hashtags to use. So it'll typically be like the con name, and then they'll have another one that's a con name, and then the year that it was. Or if it's like a special number anniversary for the convention. And then you can put in the description, be like, hey, if you know any of these cosplayers, like, let me know. Because I'll, like, after convention, I go through the tags because I want to see, like, other people who were there and the other cosplays people had. And I found myself on certain people's photos being like, hey, I don't know who this is. Like, can you let me know who it is? Like, let me know if you know who they are so I can tag them. Because it's nice. People like to have credit for their cosplays. I don't know if that's kind of vain or not.
No, it's just nice.
Yeah, I was actually going to do it for after Katsu. I made business cards for cosplay, and I was going to start handing them out at conventions after Katsu, and then, you know, the panini happened, so I never did that, but I think I'm going to redesign them and start handing them out as well when people ask for a photo.
There you go. I just keep the notes app open on my phone, and I describe their costume, and then I'm just like, this person.
That's so smart. Or there was a photographer at Katsu, down by the gazebo. He had a little notebook, and he would write the like character, like, so he had it like split into days, and he would like write the character and then have you write the character in your Instagram handle so he could tag you later. So if you want to do that, anyways, I don't know if that just sounded so fucking vain or not, and I'm sorry if it did.
No, it did. I mean, I don't know. I just assumed that everyone did. I don't know. That isn't something I really considered. No, you should definitely, if you're going to post a photo, or if you know you're going to post a photo, like, make sure you try to get the cosplayer's handle. We will always appreciate it. No one's ever, unless it's one of those creeper photos that you didn't ask for, and it's just like, ugh, creeper, like, type of thing. If you took a picture with someone and then just legit, like, forgot or were too shy to ask, Like, you can just say, like, hey, who is this? Like Kris said, tag the con, tag the year, whatever. And we will always appreciate being like, hey, someone took a picture with us. That's super nice. I always like it when people take pictures.
That's my favorite. Because sometimes I forget, too, when people take photos of me. And then I'll go see and I was like, oh, I forgot that. Wow, that makes me happy.
Yeah, and I was just like, you guys were so nice. It's just 97% of the time, all pictures taken are very nice and very, very fun. All right, costumes. Don't touch props that aren't yours.
Don't touch props at all. Like, unless you ask, don't. Just don't. Because most of the time, like, if it's my prop, it's held together by hot glue, and if you hit it the wrong way, it will break. I.e., Love's Zach scythe that I broke twice at 8Fest in, like, a 15-minute span.
Like, you can always ask to be like, hey, for this photo, can I like, hold this? And if it is not that breakable, and if the cosplayer is okay with it, then the answer could be yes. But just assume, just, like, keep your hands to yourself. Put your hands in your pockets, put them behind your back. Like, just don't touch anything.
Don't touch it at all.
And then this next one comes from one of Kris and I's mutuals. Let me pull up their handle because it was interesting. Because we asked our friends on Instagram to send us in stuff that they're like, what do you want new con goers to go? So Marvelite Cosplay wants everyone to know that if someone is wearing a masked cosplay, do not ask them to take it off. And they're really known for Kakashi. So if someone's wearing a mask and the other person that I think of, like, Overhaul, someone who wears, like, a pretty big mask, I don't know, Phantom of the Opera cosplay, I don't know. Don't ask them to take it off. It's their cosplay. They are not required to take off part of their cosplay so that you can see what the rest of their face is like. Just kind of weird. Didn't know that was a thing. But apparently it is enough for Marvelite Cosplay to want to bring it up on our podcast.
Don't ask people to take things off. Ever.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird. Just imagine it's just like, you wouldn't ask anyone to take off their pants in public. Or, I mean, there are people who would. But don't. So just don't. All right. Interacting with cosplayers.
Oh, I love this topic.
Here we go. I'm going to say 5 words. And if there's anything else you listen to on this podcast, then it will be these 5 words. Cosplayers are not their cosplays. I said that backwards.
You fucked it up before you even started, then you ended it with a fuck up.
I can't read. My eyesight's gone to shit.
It's because you're gay.
It's because I'm gay. I can't read. Literally everything, I can't read it. My eyesight went shit. Okay, wait. Cosplayers are not their characters. I got there. Cosplayers are not their characters. You can ask, hey, can I get a picture with you, friggin' Deku? Stay in character when it's appropriate. Like, it's really nice if someone comes up to me and like, hey, Mina, like, I love your outfit. Can I get a picture? Yes, you can get a picture. But, like, don't be weird about it. Just in general, just don't be weird. Don't chase down a cosplayer by screaming the cosplay's name. I think it was at My Hero Con when Ash and I were walking from the parking lot to the hotel. There's this tiny, like, baby toga cosplayer just screaming, Deku! Like, just, like, full out, like, screaming. And it made Ash uncomfortable. Because, of course. Because, like, not appropriate. Don't roleplay with cosplayers without their knowledge or consent. Without their knowledge. I don't understand why people will just come up and just start role-playing and then just be like, I don't know where to go. I don't know where we are. It's like being thrown into an improv scene that you didn't know was happening.
I would always just say, just interact with them like a normal person. Because I am not good with improv, like, at a convention, because I'm going to tell you right now, like, I am myself. If we're at a panel, and I'm, like, in a panel, that's different. But don't come up to me expecting me to be Denki. I mean, we're kind of the same person. But don't come up to me, and don't refer to me as that name from, like, a distance, like, especially if my back's to you, because 9 times out of 10, I've already forgotten who I'm cosplaying right then. And I'm not going to respond to you.
You're going to be like, hey, Denki. Hey, yo, Kris, what? That's you.
Oh, that's me.
Oh, that's me.
That literally happened to me at Fan Expo 2019. I was dressed in Denki in a school uniform, and we were walking by where the English VAs for My Hero were, and they were getting ready to go to a panel. And so Kyle Phillips, who is the English VA for Kaminari, was leaving, and he was yelling at me, apparently, and I wasn't paying attention. And he kept yelling Kaminari, and Steph was with me, and they were my Jiro, and they ended up, like, tapping me on the shoulder. Like, I think he wants your attention. And so I turned around. Of course, at this time, I hadn't watched the dub, so I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Who came up to me? And he was very nice. We chatted for a moment. I got a picture. I really like him. He's really funny. And yeah, I think he does a great job with Kaminari. But yeah, don't refer to me as the character name unless you're, like, in my face, because 9 times out of 10, I will not respond to you because I don't know that you're talking to me.
You can always refer to it, yeah, like, if we're face-to-face, just be like, oh man, this is, like, Mina, do you want, like, a picture with her? Like, some people will do that for some characters that, like, they don't know a lot of, so they'll do that, and that's fine. But, don't pull me into your shit. I forgot who told me this, but someone told me this at a con. I think it was... Oh, man. See, this is where I'm bad with names. It was one of the... I think it was Anime Dallas. I'm going to say it's Anime Dallas because I always second guess myself. I'm going to say it's Anime Dallas.
Is it the one where you were drunk?
No.
Then it wasn't Anime Dallas.
Then it wasn't Anime... God damn it. It was A-Fest then. It must have been A-Fest. We were waiting in line and there was this girl who was dressed up as, like, this warrior person from Final Fantasy. And she was talking about how there was a guy going around saying he was a photographer, a professional photographer, which he was not. And he was taking photos and then would role play into this kind of, like, old-timey photographer that did nude portraits. And then after taking the photo would be like, oh, you know, I'm going to use this for my collection of nude portraits. But it was like a role play. Like, he wasn't actually doing it, but that was how he got into, like, his character, whatever he did. So don't do that. Don't rope people into your own fantasy without letting them know or getting their permission beforehand. Because you can't see the face that Kris is making, but I feel like it's the face that everyone is making right now. It's just gross.
Oh, I think I just threw up a little in my mouth. Just don't roleplay. No, don't do it. just don't do it for your own safety and for the safety of others. Because, like, even if you do it and you think it's okay, somebody might find it either creepy or offensive.
Just say no.
Going on the roleplay thing, because I just remembered this story. Back in 2019, I forget what convention it was at. It was at a really popular out-of-state convention. And there was a group of cosplayers who were shooting gender-bent, like, pro hero and class 1A students. Which, I saw photos from this, and, like, they all looked amazing. And the main cosplayer who had orchestrated this group, because it was all, like, her friends, she had drawn in one of her friends who I guess had never cosplayed My Hero because of the fandom, and they were doing Femme Ida, which they looked amazing. And out of nowhere, this horde, it was a horde of children that couldn't have been more than, like, 12, that were all cosplaying from My Hero. they literally came out of nowhere and were harassing these adult cosplayers because they were trying to role play with them. And it was so terrible that the main cosplayer, her friend that she got to do it, never wanted to cosplay My Hero again. Because she had such a bad first experience. Because there was a femme stain, and that's who they were yelling at. Like, or maybe she was Stain. I don't know. But it was, and like, I saw video footage of this on Instagram, and like, it was out of hand. And they were even like, you need to go, like, stop, like, we're not role playing, like, we're just trying to take pictures. And like, these kids would not leave, and they were like screaming. It was horrible. I was like, listen, I know you're not supposed to hit children, but if anybody ever came up to me like that, somebody's gonna have a broken nose.
Just don't harass like a group, because although cosplayers are very, very nice on the general, we are very kind and patient people. Once you start harassing our friends, that's when shit gets real.
I'll tell you right now, my nice act drops real fast.
Once you make my friends uncomfortable, the gloves come off.
And like, the thing is like, I'm not a confrontational person when it comes to myself. But if you insult or harass or make one of my friends uncomfortable, you're gonna see the other side of me and you're gonna get scared. Because I've been told I'm terrifying when I'm mad. And I don't get mad that often.
That is true.
So.
All right, I think this is a good transition into new weebs of TikTok from TikTok. So this is specifically for all the people, for all the children, mostly, who have suddenly discovered anime and been like, ah yes, my whole personality is now anime. Which, honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You're young, you don't know what's happening. Life is crazy and stupid and never ending and nothing ever gets better. So I completely understand if anime is your entire personality. It was for me too at one point.
We dress up as fictional characters in our free time, Claire.
That do be true.
We're lucky we have partners to begin with.
Yeah, we're lucky someone said, yeah, I can deal with this. I can work with this. It's fine. But yeah, so new weebs from TikTok. Your sole purpose on this earth is not to judge everyone and everything. And I only say that because this new generation of weebs from TikTok suddenly think that they have the moral high ground and that only they know everything. They're suddenly like, oh, well, I'm an expert. I can definitely tell you that this is wrong. This is right. Those characters aren't gay. Those characters aren't gay. What are you doing? You don't get to tell me anything.
They're all gay. They're all gay.
I still stand by assume gay unless proven straight.
Honestly, there's so much like gay undertone in every single fucking anime.
Yeah. It's fine. It's because they're, what is it called? They're not queer coding. They're queer
baiting.
Queer baiting. If they want to queer bait, then we're just going to assume they're gay. We're going to reverse. We're going to Uno reverse. They want to queer bait to pull in more people. We're going to assume they're gay. Prove to me that they're straight.
They're not gay, Claire. They're cousins. You don't get that reference. Oh, that fucking hurts. It's a Sailor Moon thing.
Oh, I have not watched Sailor Moon. Anyone who watches Sailor Moon is gonna really get that reference.
They are, and they're all gonna laugh. And I'm just thinking in my head how many people are gonna like that joke. Okay, anyways. Moving on! Since that went over Claire's head.
That went over my head.
One day I will make you watch Sailor Moon.
You will. And then I will cry. But until that day, see the aforementioned cosplayers are not their character entire thing that we talked about 10 minutes ago. But if you're expecting every single Deku cosplayer or every single Bakugo cosplayer to be a 15-year-old boy, I got some bad news for you, dude. That's not gonna happen.
Most of them are probably female as well, just so you know.
Cosplayers can and 100% will cosplay outside of their gender, their sexual orientation, their race, and their age. But none of that makes them not canon, inappropriate, or a pedophile. Get that into your brains. and you do not have the right to discern any of that information to that cosplayer, to their face, or online.
I would just like to say, if you want to know why Claire emphasized pedophile, go listen to episode 4. We have a whole rant about it from both of our personal experiences that happened with it.
You're like, oh man, you're a pedophile because you can't change your age and you want to cosplay a character that literally every other person on this earth does. Ugh.
Literally, not like 9 times out of 10, and you can tell by a person, they're most likely an adult cosplaying. And I know a lot of females who crossplay, me included, as well as Claire. And some of us have gotten very good with makeup. I wish I could be that good, but I don't think I very much pass for masculine, because I have very feminine features to begin with. But 9 times out of 10, if you make any guess, you're wrong about a person. So, again, just treat them like a normal person. Treat them like an adult. Ask for permission. Binks, no, you didn't ask for permission. Don't be fucking weird. Just be a normal human being. We're all people at the end of the day.
And, again, new weebs. If you're uncomfortable with anime characters being sexualized, which apparently 90% of them are, just don't go into the artist alley. Just stay away. Just don't go there. Because there are going to be so many fan drawings, art prints, the body pillows.
The body pillows!
Body pillows. With characters that, if you're sensitive, you're going to be uncomfy. So if you feel like that's going to be an issue for you, don't go into artist alley. Just don't do it.
Honestly, just don't go to a convention. Because Artist Alley has the fan art of sexualized characters. But even in the dealer's hall, they sell official, like, merch and statues and figures that are canonly, stantonly clad. Some of them just be holding a towel over her nippy naps. That's it. That's all you get. Also, there are 18 and up panels. Obviously, you can't get in if you're a child. But if you're an adult and you don't like that, don't go to those. People dress in scantily clad cosplays. Obviously, conventions do have rules about how much skin you can show before you get dress coded. But there are still some people that wear very little clothing. But, like, don't go up to somebody and make a comment about them being a whore or a hoe or anything. Like, if it's just a part of conventions, it's also just a part of fucking anime. Like, if you don't like that, I don't understand why you're there to begin with. Because you're gonna run into it anywhere you go. In cosplayers, in fan art, in the dealer's hall, in panels.
If you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all.
The golden rule.
Yep.
Honestly, think of that rule when you're at conventions. That's it. That's all you need.
Yep. That's really it. Don't get into fights about what characters or shows are better than others. I have seen that before. Again, it was with children, to where they were deciding of whether one character could beat another character from another show. Like, it's not the place. And if you're being loud about it, then you're disturbing everyone else from having a good time. And also, like, this isn't the internet. Like, people have stuff to do. If you want to bicker about that shit, then go do it on Discord or on TikTok. But don't do it in the middle of a fucking hotel lobby. Like, no one wants to hear you decide if Naruto can kick Deku's ass. I don't care. No one else cares. Also, I feel, we didn't write this down, but be nice to the hotel staff. For the love of God, please be nice to the hotel staff. They don't know. They could be totally innocent. Please be courteous to them. They're the one who has to clean up everything, that has to deal with a lot of people. If you can make their job the littlest bit easier, please do it. Don't leave shit on the ground. Throw stuff away. Don't leave anything. Be nice to them.
It's just like when you go anywhere or do anything. You be nice to your wait staff. You be nice to retail workers. Like, be nice to the hotel staff. I will admit, if somebody's being a bitch, I will clap back. As what happened at Katsu, but that was well deserved because she was not listening to us. But other than that, just be nice. Always ask nicely. Because, if you're nice to them, they'll be nice back to you. Like the guy who helped cut me out of duct tape at Anime Dallas 2018. I was like, I'm sorry to bother you, but do you have some scissors? And he was laughing and asked me for a picture before he let me borrow the scissors. And I was like, yes. And I'm sure he tells that story all the time to people. But also, and I know people, like, this is one reason why cons get such a bad rep. If you're staying at a hotel, which is fine. I prefer staying at a hotel even if I live close by just because it's easier. And typically, if I'm in a hotel, I'm within walking distance, whereas I would have had to Uber or drive from where I live. If you're staying in the convention hotel, I know it's changed within the last, year or so before COVID. I don't know if cons still do daily service for conventions, like when it's blocked out for a weekend. Because that's a lot. But typically, when my friends and I stay in a room, we put the do not disturb sign on the door for the whole weekend. Because the room's a mess. There's towels, there's clothes, there's makeup, there's wigs. Everything is everywhere, and it's all in a designated spot for everybody in that room. And you know what? I don't want them to have to clean up after me. Because it's not fair to them. So, because then, we tidy up as best we can before we leave. And I personally like to keep cash on me because I like to leave a cash tip for the housekeeper when we leave at the end of the weekend. But yeah, clean up after yourself. Put the trash in the trash can. Put all the towels in one spot in the bathroom. Pick up the trash. Make sure it's not a complete mess. It's really not that hard. And, you don't have to do it, but I like to leave cash for the housekeepers. Just so they know, it's not, I know cons get a bad rep, and so I don't want to be one of, the attendees that they always, regret to have to go see. So just be courteous. Clean up before you leave. Honestly, I would keep your do not disturb thing on the door your whole weekend, and if you need fresh towels or something, you can call, and they can bring it to you. Don't make them come in and make your bed and, step over all your shit.
There you go. All right. I want to skip down to safety.
Oh, yes. Very important.
Safety tips. All right. Here we go. If you lose your group, go to the front desk and ask for help. That's what they're here for. Don't bother them. But also, if you need their help, they're here to help you. That's their job. They're here to make sure you have, that you're safe and everything.
First off, never go to a convention alone. Bad stuff happens when you go alone. I've never gone to a convention alone. I always have somebody with me. Whether I'm in a big group or I split down to one other person with me, unless I know exactly where I'm going and I'm coming back. If you happen to get split up, make a meetup point and you can just wait there or something. But don't go alone, because a lot of stuff, bad stuff can happen at a convention when you're alone, especially if you're a minor. If you're a minor, please don't ever go anywhere alone.
I know it might be kind of weird or embarrassing to go with a parent, but especially if you're really young and you haven't gone to a con before, take your parent. There are going to be so many more cons in your life. Please just for the first couple of them, go with someone who is a trusting adult who knows what to do in a crisis. Or go with your older sibling or something like that. Someone who has experience at a con or in a public place with a lot of weirdos. You're gonna want someone who is confident enough in the ability to get out of a situation. Also, make sure you and your friends or your parents, whoever you're with, have your location shared so that they can find you if you decide to go outside of the convention area. If some of you decide to go get food or something, have your location shared so that if you can't find your way back or you don't know where someone is, you can look at your location and be like, they're at the ramen shop. How did I know they were going to be there? Be careful about photographers. Please, please, please. This came out a lot over quarantine. I saw a lot of photographers or people step up and speak out about photographers. Most of them are very nice. I don't think I've ever had a bad experience with a photographer, but apparently there's a good number of them that are kind of creepy. So rules for when someone wants to pull you aside for a photo. Do not let them take you too far away from the crowd. I always make sure ask for their business card or their Instagram handle before doing the shoot, and go look at the photos that they take, because some photographers are very specific about what they want, i.e. some of them only take bikini and lewd kind of scandalous photos, and if that's not something you're comfortable with, then you can just decline the photo shoot. It is no hard feelings, just be polite, decline the photo shoot. And then if you decide to go forward with the photo shoot and there are just some stuff that you're not comfortable doing, make sure they know that. Make sure that be like, hey, I'm not going to take my top off. I'm not going to, or if you don't want, like, pose it, just make sure, tell them what you don't want to do. Or tell them what you're comfortable with. Like, hey, we can, whatever the photographer wants to do. Like, hey, can you take a picture up against this wall? Yeah, sure. If you don't want to do it, just say, no, I'm not very comfortable with that. And then you can see where you go from there. Just be safe. Use your brain. Just whatever your gut feeling is, trust your gut. Because it usually will not steer you wrong. Don't give out your personal information. I feel like everyone knows this. But don't. If you have a cosplay social media, go ahead and give that out to anyone who really wants to follow you. But if it's a personal account, I wouldn't suggest it. Because that's what I did when I first started cosplaying. I only had my personal one that had my literal full last name. Just for anyone to see. And it had like my school that I was going to and like the town I lived in, which wasn't a very big town. So it was just not a good idea. It just be safe in the age of social media. Do not give out your phone number ever. Just in no situation should you ever give out your phone number to anyone at a con. Just don't do it. Especially to any managers, quote unquote managers. Don't do that.
I'm not even gonna lie. Majority of my cosplay friends don't even have my phone number. Like, only select people that, like, I see in person a lot have my phone number. Otherwise, you can reach me through Instagram.
Exactly. We're on social media every freaking day. Why do you need my phone number? Okay, and because I only saw this, the only reason I wrote this down is because I saw someone put this up on Instagram a while ago. Mm-hmm. If a quote-unquote manager approaches you and is like, hey, I really like your cosplay, I would like to sign you to my label, whatever the heck their line is, ask for their email and their company name, and then tell them that you'll get back to them. Do not give them anything. Nothing. Give them nothing. Because from the majority of the time, from what I've heard, is that a real manager, if someone wants to contact you, they will give you a business card and you make the first move. And no way will they'll be like, oh, give me your number and I'll text you. No, that is not anything from what I've heard that actually happens.
I didn't even know they were, like, cosplay managers.
I don't think there are.
Okay, good, because I was like, that sounds really made up.
There are modeling agencies, but from what there was a specific, and I wish I saved it, but it was a person who was posing as a cosplay manager, who only does cosplays. And they had like, oh, well, I do AR cos and Inspected Lemon. They were like, oh, I do these two cosplayers, like I'm their manager and stuff like that. And it was a scam. It was not true. Do not give your phone number out to anyone. Lastly, if you're feeling uncomfortable around someone else who is at a con, if it's another con goer, another cosplayer, tell the event staff. There are event staff for a reason. Tell them.
I would say 100%. Like, this happened to me at a convention when I first started cosplaying. I think I mentioned it on our Con Stories episode. We were at Anime North Texas, which this was my first time there, and I was like, I'm never going back. We were at a My Hero meetup, and it was really small. Love and I were cosplaying Shinso and Denki, because I guess that's our go-to, or it was at the beginning. That's all we cosplayed. We were at a meetup. They were doing the different photos they were going through, and then they got through the list of people that they wanted, like the ships and whatnot, and then they were taking requests from the crowd. So our friend Steph goes up and says, do Shin Kami. So she calls it, and of course, Love and I are the only Denki and the only Shinso. We go up there, and we're just, like, fucking around like we normally are, and I have them dip me, and we're just being goofy. And there's another guy who is cosplaying an OC of his for a pro hero. And he was making really inappropriate comments. He said we were, like, the cutest lesbians ever. Which, I mean, I guess I can see because he didn't know us, but also don't just assume, you know? Because I remember being like, we're siblings. That's kind of gross. And then he was saying stuff about MILFs to some other people that were there, so we reported him to con staff, and we tried to get him kicked out of the con, but he left before they could escort him out. But if it's a good convention, which I think conventions are getting better with their security team and stuff like that, they'll take you seriously. Like, they had us write statements. They were looking for him. We were looking for him. One of the volunteers that was working security that we were really talking with was really nice and really helpful, and she was, like, on the walkie. I know I've heard horror stories of other places that have bad con staff. And if that's the case, you know, I would just keep hounding people, because eventually you're going to find a volunteer who's going to do something.
My girlfriend, Lauren, texted me and told me to tell this story.
Oh, no.
Because it's relevant. Because she went to cons when she was, like, 14 with her friend Jamie. So she was like, this might be pertinent to the podcast. So when her and Jamie were 14, a male furry approached them.
No, not a furry!
shake their hands. But he didn't let go of Jamie's hand. And then he started asking us if he could get our numbers, and he would not let go of his hand. So then a Megumi cosplayer that they had met earlier who was working at the con came over and yelled at the man and said that, oh, we'll call con security if he didn't stop harassing these minors. So the furry left, and we thanked the lady profusely. She was super nice, but yeah, be aware of strangers, and the con goers are not always your friends.
I would say, like, if you're feeling uncomfortable, most people, I would hope, are accepting and nice. Like, if I've never had an instance like this, but I know this was going around before the pandemic happened and people were posting about it, and I remember I shared it on my story as well. Like, if you're at a convention, no matter how old you are, and you're being harassed by somebody, you can come up to me and you can act like we're, like, best friends, and I will, like, help you get away from this person. I'll protect you, and I might punch somebody in the face. But I need you to come over, like, because you can approach a lot of people and be like, hey, like, I need help. This person's not leaving me alone. They're following me, all this other stuff. And 9 times out of 10, they will help you. Like, if you get separated from your group and you don't have anybody else, like, you can go to somebody. Or even, like, you can post on your, like, close friend story and be like, do I have any mutuals that are close to me? Like, I'm being harassed and I really don't want to be alone right now. And somebody is probably on their phone and they'll be like, oh my god, I'm, like, here, like, I'll come meet you somewhere. Like, don't ever feel like you can't get help. You can go to con staff. You can approach, like, other cosplayers or other people just to, like, get some help.
We want everyone to have a good time. So, and the overall purpose of a con is to have fun. If you are not having fun, then it's okay for you to do something about it. If you're just not feeling the vibe, if it's too much for you, if you don't like the people who are there, leave. If there's someone who's following you, who's stalking you around the convention, tell someone. You do not have to sit there and just take it. It's supposed to be a fun experience.
You're there to have fun. You also really need to be safe while you're there. And I try to do my best to look out for other cosplayers. And I know now that there's a lot more babies out there. I'll be more on guard when I'm at conventions to look out in case anybody needs help. But if you're a baby cosplayer, and please don't ever go to a convention alone if you're a minor. Even if your parent is, like, with you, but they just stay in the hotel room, like, at least take a friend. Like, don't be completely alone. And, like, if you need help, like, You can go to con staff. You can go to hotel staff if it's at a hotel. You can go up to adult cosplayers, and most people will be willing to help you with whatever you need. Just be safe. Be aware of your surroundings. Have fun. Don't trust anybody you don't know. That looks creepy.
Don't trust anyone, but also have a good time. And if you ever see any of us, if you see Kris and I at a con, come say hi and say, hey, I listen to the podcast. And we'll be like, why? Thank you, but why?
And then Claire and I will stand there awkwardly and be like, thank you.
And we'll be like, wow, seriously? Seriously. Because it's still like a little bit of like, is anyone listening? We know that they are. We know that there are people listening. But why?
Your girlfriend.
Your girlfriend.
Not Jalitza. No, she doesn't listen to it.
Jalitza doesn't listen to Weeb Cafe?
She can't listen unless she's on a long car ride, so she hasn't listened to it because of that. But I know Casey and Ash listened, not your Ash, my Ash, listened to it. I've met some other podcast friends on Twitter that listen to our podcast, so that's nice.
Yeah, wait, we got to shout out because there's some,
So we got tagged in this beautiful tweet today on our podcast Twitter. Would you like to explain it, Claire?
Yeah, so this lovely person, Kiana Morgan, posted, my Twitter family did parents, spouse, and then their children. So we are the parents, the proud mothers of Kiana Morgan. And we are apparently married to Dad Needs to Talk podcast.
Who is also a Weebish podcast. So I have him added to my list because I want to listen to their stuff because they seem cool.
So make sure to go listen to our husband, Dad Needs to Talk, which is interesting because we're both gay.
We're both... I mean, we both swing either way, to be honest.
That do be true.
We're married to Kiana Morgan, and they are married to Stan Annie Gops. And they're apparently both MILFs, we have found out. And then they have 2 children, which is Love Ray and Anime Talk 12, which I shared this tweet on our Twitter account if you would like to see it. We're a happy family.
Yep, that was just something that happened today, and Kris and I were texting about it. We were like, oh, what? What's going on? Does that also make us grand MILFs?
I'd say so. No, we'd be GILFs.
GILFs? GILFs.
Yeah, because grandmother is one word.
Grandmother's one word. Right, GILFs.
We're GILFs. Can I add that to our bio? I'm going to add that to our Twitter bio.
Oh, hell yeah. We're GILFs.
Yeah, I guess that's about it for today. Anyways, thank you for listening and supporting us. Oh my god, I totally forgot. So we did get our first fan email the other day because I sent it to Claire. How did I forget about this? And let me tell you, I literally almost cried when I opened this email at work. And I was so thrown off that somebody actually liked our podcast. I was like, wow, random people actually listen to this? And it is from Christella. She emailed us on our last episode, which was over body shaming in cosplay. And she sent a really nice long email about it and how she found it because I posted the link for our new episode on another anime podcast Discord I'm in. And so she found it that way. And she said, I never listened to you before, but I'm glad this was my introduction. She said, I sincerely applaud y'all for giving voice to the body positivity movements and an intersection with cosplaying and racism. As a regular-bodied POC person who does not fit into a size 8 anymore, which, girl, mood. I don't even remember the last time I fit into an 8. She said, I found it really challenging to try and crack into the cosplay world. This episode made me feel more confident about trying a legit Faye Valentine for A-Con next year. And I was just I was so touched that somebody else enjoyed the episode because it's not necessarily a hard topic to talk about, but it's very personal to a lot of people in different aspects, as we talked about. And so I'm just really glad that somebody really enjoyed that episode.
And also, Christella, if you're listening again, I've looked up Faye Valentine. You better go cosplay her because, oh my gosh, she looks so badass. She's from Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, wait, is it the purple big Oh, it is! It's that bitch! Oh, she's hot. I've never watched Cowboy Bebop, but damn, she's hot.
I've seen a couple episodes, and yeah, this is like, I was like, ooh.
Maybe that's what we should review next episode.
Cowboy Bebop!
Yes!
Check us watching Cowboy Bebop. Wow, we actually know what we're doing next week. Oh, look at us.
Christella, thank you to you. This is your fault. Alright, anyways, that's gonna be it for this episode. We'll see you next week, because Lord knows we actually have a plan for once. Until then, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.